Welcome to Free Beer Friday, powered in part by the Bearded Monk and Classic of Denton. The views and opinions expressed by the show hosts and their guests are those of the show host and guests, and not necessarily those of the sponsors, DentonRadio.com, or the Denton Convention and Visitors Bureau. For more information, visit the Policies and Procedures page at DentonRadio.com.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a little thumb holes. I think we're.
Are we live?
Yeah, I think we're live.
Are we
Hi,
live?
everybody.
Hi.
Welcome back to
Hi.
another episode of Free Beer Friday. Your host,
Hey.
Ben, over at the Bearded Monk.
What's
And
up?
look who's with me.
Jennifer the Bearded Lady. How are you? He's also wearing, I don't have to show my tattoo today. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, hold on.
I know,
Yeah.
look, they're such
Rep
friends.
Look at
that. Excellent.
I'm so
All the bearded
happy.
things.
So
Yeah.
sweet. I love it. And who are we here with today? Well, you could introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, I
You gotta
will.
introduce yourselves.
My name is Abby DeShazo, victim advocate with Denton County Friends of the Family.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I'm Brittany with 903 Brewers out of Sherman, Texas. I'm the brand manager for the small brewery out of the small town. So,
Sweet.
Yeah.
And
The small brewery out of the small town.
yes.
We are
who
drinking
we are.
that. Hey, officers, thank you for your service.
Oh,
Hi, guys.
Hey,
PD, hello.
We are drinking some night. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you sprayed everywhere.
Oh,
I'm not going to get that close.
Well, you gotta get that in there.
yeah, the
Do I
sound.
have to?
ASMR
Okay.
stuff.
Oh, no.
Oh, girl,
Okay.
this is so
Did
good.
it.
So
Success.
right now,
Nice.
I am drinking and spilt. I'm sorry, Jake.
Oh.
A beer mosa.
Can I?
Beer
You
mostly
Oh, sorry.
super fun.
Oh,
You
sorry.
talk, I'll show off the can.
Yeah, this beer mosa is delicious, by the way. It is an IPA. You were telling us it's an IPA, but it's full of orange.
Yes.
And so it is literally a beer mimosa.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of beer mimosas, I heard there's a really fun event coming up called Galentine's.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah, so we've got
Ooh, Galentine's.
Galentine's.
Sorry, we did it.
That was great. That was beautiful.
We are
All that
so in
practice
sync,
paid
y'all.
off.
Was it
We have
beautiful?
got
It was
this.
beautiful.
Thank you.
beautiful.
I
Very nice. Very nice. Wordplay.
Ah.
We're smart.
the dad jokes are
Right.
strong.
It's going down,
It's
going
good.
down the rabbit hole. Oh, so
jokes,
good.
dad jokes, got it all.
I love it. Or
Oh, yeah.
parent jokes.
Parent jokes, yes.
I like
Oh,
this
Parent
better.
jokes.
yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Family.
Yes.
Family. Friends of the family.
Ooh.
Back around.
Tied it in.
Back
Tied
around.
it
Did
in.
the whole thing.
Yes.
Tell us about Galentine's.
Oh,
Day,
super. Yeah, so Galentine's is Galentine's I think came about on Parks and Rec. I don't know, maybe it occurred before then. So I've borrowed that theme of like women getting together to celebrate one another, to do 903 Galentine's all across DFW. So it's an event where we get together to sign and craft cards for women in the services of local domestic violence shelters. So we
Right
do
on.
it all across DFW, so that way we hit every major county rather. So Collin, Denton, Tarrant, and Dallas County,
Denton.
and all of those shelters as well. So
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
yeah,
And
Yes.
what do you see? Like, do you get to go to these places as well as I'm sure it's so rewarding. I just want to hear kind of like some of your stories of the reward that you get.
of course. So we've so this is I think this is the third year to do Galentine's. And so, after we sign the cards, like you have that process of like crafting cards with sometimes strangers, sometimes your dear friends, but you've got that experience of camaraderie there and writing those empowering messages and having that shared experience. And then so dropping off the cards, like I don't meet the women that receive the cards, which is, and that's okay.
that's right, yeah.
It's something that's still a very intimate process in spite of it being anonymous. So it's just really wonderful just to pass that along and say, hey, here's some positive messages. Here's some empowering messages. Like, we're thinking of you. You're our Galentine. Like, just passing along that good energy.
Right
I
on.
love that.
So-
And that's
Right
the
on.
reward right there, is just knowing that you are creating an energy ball and giving it to somebody.
Yes.
So
to
I
it's
like
perfect.
that.
brighten the day.
Yeah.
And it's,
Tai Chi.
it's everybody's day gets brightened by the
Yeah.
experience. So it's just been something that's been a passion project for me.
Yeah.
And it did start kind of as like a process of catharsis, having gone through my own experience with an emotionally abusive partner. And so just like moving past that and putting the good out into the world, just connecting with people
Yeah.
on a difficult subject, but nevertheless, like, just, wanted to show ways that we're all connected, even if even if we don't know each other directly.
In a supportive way, in a
Yes.
strong way, in a positive
Yes.
way. And I love that so
We're all
much.
human.
Yes.
We all be
Yes.
human. We all want to
Yes.
laugh. We all want to have
Yes.
fun, and we all want to be told that you look great today.
Yeah.
That's good.
We
I
need
mean,
good
it
in the
comes
world.
down to
Yes.
it.
Yes.
That's what it is.
You never know, like, when your compliment or your positive statement might really turn around somebody's day,
Yeah.
their mood, and like, where does that go from there? It's like that leapfrog of good energy. So,
Absolutely.
Right
just,
on.
I try to
just feeling that.
share what I'm thinking all the time. Like, actually, right before I went into the monk, there was this like beautiful young woman that had like the perfect outfit on and amazing chocolate skin, and I was like, girl, you look cute today. And she's like, oh, thank you. And she like said thank you again, and I was like,
Yeah.
welcome, you look good.
processing,
Like,
yes.
Have a
it was,
great
Yes.
night.
Yeah.
Just go out and have a great night.
and I was just like, she did. She looked like perfection. I was just like, you look amazing. I just wanted her to know that. And
Yes.
I've been trying to say that more often, and like in this time of my life. Like,
Yeah.
if someone has a beautiful eyes, I'm like, wow, you have beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
Like, I stop everything. I'm sure that's weird to some people, but I make sure it's.
But it goes a long way.
It does.
Really
It's just the
does.
act of acknowledging, like, hey, I see you.
Yeah.
And I'm here for
Exactly.
it. Absolutely.
And like smiles and loving and just personalities. It's always important to
Yeah.
point all of that out
Absolutely.
Uplifting one another.
all the time.
Just
even in small
appreciating
ways.
somebody.
Yes.
In any way,
appreciating.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like that happens all the time with beer. It's like you start drinking beer and you're like, girl, you look cute. This is what I do all the time.
And just creating a community of support around beer. And that's the great thing
Exactly.
about the craft beer
That's
industry.
what I love. I say that
Absolutely.
almost every
Yeah.
time on this the
Absolutely.
show, that like it creates a community and everybody supports each other and
Yeah.
complimenting people on people's beers
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just having fun. I think it's a big part of it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, can we talk a little bit about Friends of the Family?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Like,
I would love to.
And so
Like,
now you're
these
involved with
folks who
Galentine's.
may not know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this is where the Galentine's in Denton, we're sending the cards tonight over to Denton County Friends of the Family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe let everybody know what we're
who
doing,
we are.
who we're sending these to.
are
Yeah,
you?
what's
Who are
going
we?
on? Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we are the domestic violence and sexual assault nonprofit for the Denton County area. We offer a large variety of services, and we started real small. We started in 1980. We're celebrating 40 years this year. Wow. And we started with
40
just
years.
40 years.
That's
She's an
awesome.
old
It's
lady.
incredible.
Yeah. But a beautiful
She's
old
getting
lady,
there, but
yeah.
she has aged like a fine wine.
has.
We started with 2 staff
I love
members
that.
and 32 volunteers. That's all we had.
Wow.
And a 90 square, or I'm sorry, not 90. That's real tiny. 900 square foot shelter, only 8 beds. And since then, we've grown into this wonderful agency, and we help thousands of people a year. We now have 4 different locations. We have a shelter. We have the Outreach Center, transitional housing. We just opened another center out in Savannah. So we're trying to grow because Denton County is real big. So we're
huge.
trying to touch
Yeah.
as many people as we can and provide our services to as many folks as we can, and offering our services such as victim advocacy, which is what I do. We also have a legal team. We have a survivor advocacy team that goes out to hospitals and accompanies victims of sexual assault. We try to just, figure out what people need, and that's kind of how we've grown into the agency that we've grown into. Is we're always trying to adapt, and we're always trying to hear, like, okay, where else do we need to be? Who
Yeah.
else do we need to talk to? And how can we make this the best possible scenario for some really, really difficult times and give people hope? That's really what we're striving for, is bringing families from crisis to confidence and know that, hey,
Wow.
like, things can get better, and being able to alleviate that stress for people is really something that we're really passionate about, and we're getting there. We're always growing, and I hope that we continue to grow. And we always say we hope one day we're out of a job. That's really our
Me too.
That's really our
best
end
case
goal.
Me
scenario.
too.
Yeah.
That's really our
Yeah,
end
yeah.
goal.
Or I guess hashtag me too. Sorry, like literally goes into that.
Sure.
That's amazing to have this resource in a college town. Because I think a lot of situations in a college town are kind of swept underneath the rug, and I've known this from experience of my friends and all of that kind of stuff. So for you to be able to have that for college girls and be able to contact you,
Yeah.
and like just fear of going to the hospital is one thing, and fear of like going through the trials.
Sure.
And I mean,
and just not knowing.
Yeah.
That's such a huge fear for, domestic violence and sexual assault survivors is, what do I do? What's next? And that's what we're here for. We're
That's
there to tell
amazing.
you, hey, this is what's next. And we're here to hold your hand while you go through it if you want us. We're available for that support and as many resources as we can give. Yeah. I'm
keep killing it, girl.
Thank you. I'm very proud to be such a part of such a phenomenal agency.
Yeah,
and
it's amazing.
Yes.
You work for an awesome nonprofit.
I have been Hillary had come in a couple of times to talk about education with bartenders,
Yeah.
and she did a very long education with
She
a
did.
bunch of us.
Yeah.
And that was amazing to beyond what I thought of as what Denton County Friends of the Family was. She was stepping out and helping us recognize things, like
Yeah.
taking time out of her day
Yeah.
to teach us about things
Right.
in all the bars. And that's absolutely amazing. And it showed that dedication of,
Right.
like, yeah, we
Reach
just
out.
want to stop any of this
Yeah.
behavior anywhere we can or alleviate the problems anywhere we can.
Right. And yeah, like I said, we're always just trying to figure out where we need to be. And we're always wanting to grow and develop to find out who needs us and where we can best help benefit people who are struggling with this stuff. So yeah, training bartenders is a huge thing. My background is actually with Denton County Brewing Company. That's where I was.
You are a beer
Yes.
girl.
Yes, that's where I was prior. So I'm very happy that y'all invited me
Yeah,
to
of
be here.
course.
You're combining my two passions. It's beer and my work. And when I was there, I got to see a lot of things that I realize now were red flags. A lot of red flags. And something that I talk to Hillary about frequently is like, hey, how can we help train people to not only acknowledge those red flags, but how to address those red flags, how to do it safely? Because another thing I've learned within my work is that there's not always, there's no like one solution on helping these people, but just, reaching a hand out and being like, hey, again, I hear you. I see you. I know what's going on. We're here if you want us.
Right on.
Yeah.
There has to be like, I remember in the past, like in years past, because I was in dental hygiene for a long time, and there's ways to communicate things like sexual assault and domestic violence and all of that, and things that you can look for as well. So we need to come up with like a game plan of like what kind of, because I know some bars have that, but like a game plan of all of Denton County. It has to be, I mean, semi-secret, I guess, but like
Right.
like a
That's
communication
right.
ability
What's
to
been
talk
going
to
on.
Yeah.
with, or even like just a service, an app on the phone could be really easy.
Sure.
I just read something recently, and this goes on to it. This Uber girl talk. Sorry, I know I'm talking. Like
no,
this is
I'm thinking,
on a.
like, all right,
this
now
is
we got to
intense
build
one,
an app. Let's
right?
get on this.
I know. Well, like this girl.
We're going where we need to go.
This girl
coding.
was trying to get an Uber because this guy was like really just pressing to like have her. She forgot her key. She couldn't find her key, so she's like, "Oh no!" And he's like, "I can give you a ride." And he's like, "No." So she texted the Uber guy and was like, "Hey, can you act like my boyfriend?" This guy was like, "Okay, I guess." And he ended up like hiding his like wedding ring, and he was just like, "Oh, hey, I need to go run to like my boyfriend, and he's picking me up." So he's like, "Hey, sweetie," and she's like, "You better come hurry and get in the car because I'm hungry, girl. Like, I love you. Come on." And
Yeah.
so like that whole thing was just through Uber. If you message Uber and you're like, "I'm in a situation, will you please act like my significant other?"
Right.
When you come pick me up.
And just having that knowledge of this is something I can do is another thing that we're trying to
I
work
had
on.
no
is-
idea.
Is being able to educate people because there is a safe way to navigate that situation and there's a very unsafe way. So that's another thing that we're very passionate about is trying to educate bystanders like where does your role fall in with this? Because
Mine's like, get away from her. Right. You don't do that.
Right.
Same with Matt, my husband. He's
Right.
like, what?
and that
What?
that's a very common reaction.
Yeah.
But sometimes that can be an unsafe reaction
Oh,
depending
yeah.
on the situation. Right. You never know what you're walking into. So
At least I can let Matt go do that. He's just like,
sure. Sure.
Like, yeah, you've run at that.
right.
Right.
But okay, so that's one of the
But true,
hard
you have to know
parts
the difference.
we've had is the reaction. What if this is what happens? How do we respond? Like,
Right.
that's been a
Right.
really hard one, and because you can't just aggress everything.
Sure.
And sometimes
hard not
we've
to.
had some. I know. I'm totally with you, and that's my first instinct.
Well, yeah, because that passion is there. That this isn't right.
Yeah.
We need to fix this.
Or you.
But
yeah.
it's important to know that just by doing like a simple gesture of like, hey, you know, I understand what's going on. You okay? All right. Well, here's some information. Is it safe for you to take this information? Do you need me to call you a car? Do you need me to, and doing these in a safe way where obviously the person is not near them, and being able to address it on
Yeah,
a,
you
on
have to do
a
it that way.
on a very safe scale. And even one of the most frustrating things I think about this work is people who are like, no, I'm good.
Like, you sure?
But you have to know that you can't make the tree grow, but you planted that seed.
You did?
And that's really
Right on.
that's really what we're trying to
Right on.
what we're trying to accomplish on a day-to-day basis is planting that seed.
I think you're going to have like a great combining of your two careers and finding a solution.
Yeah.
The best solution that you can come up with, and like what people can come up with around Denton. And I think that's very exciting for you.
Yeah.
So
I'm very excited because I mean the bar community here is
Yeah.
very close to my heart. So
pretty close knit too. I
Yes,
mean,
very
Yeah.
much so. Denton is such a big bar town, and if we could make this one of the safest places to be able to drink and enjoy yourself and have fun and be able to just know that even if something
Right on.
does happen, you know that you can go to somebody,
Lean
even if
on.
you're by yourself, and you can go to a bartender and be like, hey, I'm not feeling safe. They'll be like, I got you. What do you need? Like that's such a cool thing. That is something
is.
personally that I want to strive for in this community.
Right on.
I think we're making a
awesome.
lot of
Yeah.
progress.
Very
much.
Just like, you know, from where it was 10 years ago as opposed to today,
Absolutely.
about like, you know, like visibility and communicating and navigating these situations. So it gives me a lot of hope for the continued future.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right
And the work that you're doing with this Galentine's Day thing, I know you know that it makes a big difference, but it really it's phenomenal
Thank you.
because one of the biggest things that happen with domestic violence and sexual assault is that feeling of isolation.
Yes.
Whether
Yeah.
someone has purposefully isolated you or you just feel alone because you're like, no one understands what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Just that simple act of reading a card from a stranger that validates how they're feeling and says like, hey, I support you and you got this. Like, it means so much, and it really it can move mountains with that. So thank you
Oh,
for
It's
providing
a
that.
Valentine validation. I'm sorry, I had to
Nice.
Well done.
Nice.
Cheers.
thank you. I was just
Oh,
well
can we bring that in? Can we bring
done.
that in?
Well done.
Oh, that felt so good.
That was wonderful.
I'm proud of all my friends today.
Yes, I did it. I did a parent joke.
Love it.
Okay,
Yes.
so these cards, what is the aspect of friends of the family? Who are these going to? I guess, without naming any.
No,
name, but,
obviously.
What's the service that you're providing?
I mean, me personally, or just as a whole.
Or because these aren't going to educating bartenders. These aren't going to what. I don't know how to ask it.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you an answer, and we'll see if it fits.
Okay, let's see. Yeah.
So they're going to our clients who are in direct services with us currently. So they're
Direct
actively
services
seeing
is the term. Okay.
counselors. They're actively within our shelter. They're actively seeing advocates like myself. Maybe they're seeing our legal team for legal assistance. So they're actively coming in because they need assistance in some way. They need some kind of services. So these people can be going through a variety of things. They can be in a variety of stages. They could be still within a relationship that's toxic and abusive. They could have just recently exited, or it could have been, years and years ago, but they've just now found the space to be able to process it. So it's going to a variety of different people, but it makes a difference in all aspects for sure. No matter where
So
you are
exciting.
on the transition scale or the levels of change, it makes a big difference.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Did I do a good job? Did I answer
You
that
did.
well?
That was
Okay, cool.
amazing.
I
That was
think
Way better than
with
I
his,
had.
Okay, great.
with his
Absolutely.
question,
Yeah.
I think you did.
So what do you do?
Yeah, I was like, we just asked that, Ben. Like, literally, that was the question she just talked about for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, yes.
That's okay.
No, it was perfect. So, tell us a little bit more. I mean, I want to hear about 903 too. I know,
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm sorry. I love hearing about that, and I
hope
think
so.
this is an amazing thing. But you're also here, and I know you're here to tell us more about the things that are going on at it.
Absolutely.
And it's another example of a craft brewery supporting
Exactly.
Yes.
local causes.
Again,
So-
my two
This is-
passions coming
Yes.
together. Thank you.
I know.
That is the amazing thing
Thank
about
you.
the craft beer community is that we're often like reaching into the communities around us to extend a hand, help where we can, and so for it's wonderful to combine those passions, and it almost feels like natural. It's just like like I don't even think about it. I'm just like, what can we do? Like we have this platform. Like how can we help? Like who can we help? Like so sometimes it comes from like personal causes that affect me directly, or like up in Sherman, like we do a lot of work, with like police officers or the animal rescues up there, and it's just we help where we can.
Yeah.
And I feel like most craft breweries like have that heart and that passion as well. It's just like one of the added virtues of being a craft brewery and supporting local and craft. So
As a small business and wants to, I mean, like that's what craft is. I was explaining to somebody that craft beer people like community,
Yep.
their town,
Yep.
they like coffee.
Yeah.
Really, they're like flavor hounds. So yeah, guys, like these like small coffee shops or me too included, and then small restaurants that are not mainstream. And so like everything that can go into a community, you end up eating it all up. I
Yeah.
mean, it's one of those things that beer does.
Yeah. Beer crafts community.
Yes.
So yeah, 903.
like
we're
that.
T-shirt.
we're very
Yeah,
close
beer
to-
crafts community, girl.
Just made it.
Valentine's
Yes.
validation of beer crafts
Oh.
community.
Bam.
Done.
Well played.
So 903, we're oh goodness. So come summer, we'll be 7 years old, which is kind of incredible to think about. So I've been
Yeah.
working with 903 for the last 5 years. 4 years kind of doing my brand manager role, and then like 1 year as a volunteer, just helping out with festivals and demos and things like that. So very early in our brewery's existence, and so to think that we're approaching 7 years is incredible. It's just like insane. Like where does the time go? Like is it like it feels like a week or so. Oh, super!
Oh, girl, you drink it. Get the beer mosa. It's like mimosa with beer.
So like 903 is also like
Right.
hit this crazy stride of just like experimenting a lot, coming out with new variations. Like our bread and butter is stout, so we love to play around with stouts. It's funny that I have like no stouts on our table today, but we're sampling
Oh,
some
yeah.
here at the
You are.
center.
There's some out
We're
there.
feeling fruity. It's Galentine's
Yes,
Day.
we also love
I got the
fruits
beer
as
mosa.
well.
I mean,
Yes,
come
we
on,
got
give
beer
me a-
mosa. We do gozas. We do slushies. So slushies are heavily fruited gozas, like a smoothie style goza.
Weren't you going to get one?
Yes, yes.
you guys
Is it,
want-
is it slushy
I
time?
can
Do you
go
wanna
get
get
It's
a slushie?
absolutely
Okay.
slushy.
Are we
'cause
doing
you're
a slushy
talking.
time?
I'm gonna go get this slush.
Okay, let's talk some more.
You continue.
Okay. So
goodness, January alone, I feel like we've released like maybe like 5 or 6 new beers. Yes, and so
in a month.
we're just having
In
fun.
the
we're
first
just
month
doing
of
what
the
we
quarter.
love. Yep.
Like,
Yep.
jeez.
Wow.
We're just it's just kind of an exciting time in beer to be innovative, to push boundaries, to try new things, to experiment with flavors, but something that we're also doing that I
And
really
you guys have been pushing boundaries
Yes.
quite a bit,
Yeah,
which
the
is so
slushies
much
are
fun.
Just
Yeah.
like kind of out of this world.
Yeah.
Like not like we picked up the skill from a brewer from out of state, and It speaks to like the camaraderie of the beer community, but to introduce it to Texas where it's like hot 97% of the time, and this is a super refreshing beer. Also, too, just changing the notion of what beer can be and what it can taste like is so exciting.
Ooh.
But we're
I
also
wanna look at the
doing
can,
really
I'm sorry.
traditional stuff as well. So we released like a Doppelbock in December. We've got a traditional German Lagerbock, like lager yeast. So it's cool to do those alongside of things like the slushy beer, just to say, hey, like we're doing it all. We want to make something for everybody. Beer is so versatile, and beer can speak to so many different kinds of moments as well.
Absolutely.
Right on.
You got to show off that can too, by the way. That's such a cute little
Oh,
slushy.
can we do a close up of that?
We are.
You
There
can
it
hold,
is.
hold it,
Hold it
girl.
up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hold it
Hold
by
it
your
up.
like,
face. Hold it by your face.
A little bit closer. A little bit closer.
Towards my face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it a kiss. Oh, nice.
I like it.
I'm like, my face? I don't know. What is this can doing near my face? Like, that's totally natural, though. So we are a small team. We're a super small team.
we put
so,
our couch like,
but like stop
Beer.
talking.
No, keep
But
talking.
I just want to give some props to the guy that designs our labels. Like, so we have an in-house designer for all of our labels and our designs, and we're cranking out so many new beers nowadays. Michael Waite is crushing it on the
Woo.
labels.
Nice.
Like
Very
everything
nice.
that you see
Cheers, cheers.
is just a Michael Waite work, and our head brewer Wilson is crafting some really awesome
Wilson.
different styles of beer
Wilson.
too.
Some crazy
So we've got a great
designs.
team. Okay, so we're pouring out some smoothie. This is our most recent smoothie style goza, the slushy. This one's got
Sushi.
blueberry, strawberry,
first.
kiwi,
Okay.
and pink guava.
I'm going around the table.
Passing it around, like in the
Gosh.
correct
It's
fashion.
a gorgeous like lavender
got you.
color.
Yeah.
So heavily fruited. So it gives you a thick mouthfeel, which you do not anticipate on a sour. Like, that's unheard of.
Heavy on the fruit puree.
Heavy on the fruit.
Yeah. Like, it looks like the cup and the
It smells like a
today,
smoothie. It straight up smells like a smoothie.
smoothie. And that's,
Oh my God.
I
It
was
is
getting glasses back
mind-bending.
today, and I have to rinse the
mama.
glasses thoroughly before I scrub them.
I apologize.
That's okay.
I feel like I'm being healthy when I drink this.
yeah.
I
Don't
can't
tell
make
me
any
otherwise.
claims.
Do not tell me otherwise.
We are being healthy when we're drinking this.
But with the slushy
Right on.
series, you do get this whole like ocean depth of fruit flavor. It's sweet and sour, and it's dynamic, and it's nothing you ever expect to find in beer, and yet too you pick up the saltiness of the base style, the goza.
Right.
And so it's really fun. It's been a popular series for us, and we're just excited to have it a part of our repertoire because
So cool.
It's in our wheelhouse to do
I've
something
been
kind of innovative and flavor forward.
Yeah.
I've
Right
been
on.
waiting for Texas to do this. I don't know if you've had Eagle Park yet. So they have been creating amazing slushy
Oh, super.
IPAs. And so Beer Mosa is right there.
Yes. Yeah.
Right there. But they came out with another slushy IPA, and this is so similar.
Yes.
Different style, but like these two styles are like I was amazed that a brewery could do that, and you guys are bringing it to Texas.
I mean,
so I
Right on.
appreciate
Yes, absolutely.
you bringing that to
Yeah,
Texas. 'Cause
it's our
hard.
pleasure.
I mean,
I'm excited to announce too that we're going to do a slushy IPA.
Nice.
At the beginning of March.
Sorry.
Are you
way
excited?
too excited.
So we're going to have 2 different variations coming out. So I'm really stoked about that.
Dude,
yeah.
I'll hold off on sharing the fruit just because, sourcing fruit can sometimes, it's like we've got one plan, but then like our resources need to change or our plan of attack needs to change because of the resources, like availability and
Yeah,
things like
Yeah,
that.
whatever the farm's doing.
Y'all need to talk to Eagle Park
Yeah, Eagle Park.
and just
slut-
make another
yeah.
baby.
Slushy
Make another
collab.
baby.
Oh,
Do the
slushy
slush lab.
collab.
We need some slushy collabs.
This is gonna be amazing. You're welcome. The bearded lady did it. Just remember that.
You have to give her credit now.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the bearded slush.
Yes.
Ooh, girl.
The bearded
Ooh, girl, it's me
slush.
stepping on my headphones.
Here in
I'm
another
all hooked
collab.
around it.
Oh
There
yeah.
we go.
This is fine with me. I'm fine with that. No, this is really good.
This is
I'm
super good.
very
Yeah, that was
Refreshing,
amazing.
just different,
Heck yeah.
fun.
And I love, like, the cup. Seriously. It looks like
I know.
I just finished a smoothie Should I hold it
It
up?
looks like I could have gotten this from a juice bar.
Yeah.
I've never set foot in a juice bar.
We're going to have 2 more slushies
It's
coming
beer.
out in between now and the end of February. So one
really
of them
good.
is Trash Can Punch, which is one of my
Ooh, my
favorites. It's our
gosh.
second
Back
time to
around.
release it.
Naughty.
Yes.
Yeah.
So very throwback nostalgia. I love like nostalgia in beer, like things that remind me of like my youth.
College.
Yes.
Hopefully not you, for trash can punch. I mean,
Well, like sometimes like you get like those cereal beers or something like that.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
yes.
That's true.
Like we've got Fruity Pebbles on tap at the Bearded Monk.
That's right,
Which is a
yeah.
slushy must try. All different kinds of berries, plum, grape, and lime. So that's on tap now at the
Very
Bearded
So
Monk.
good.
But
So
yeah,
amazing.
I like nostalgic beers because it like gives me like double comfort, a little bit of booze, but also like memories.
Sure.
Like it's a wonderful combination.
Yeah.
It's like
And
it's like
these-
a hug.
these are gonna be. Are these all gonna
boozy
be
hug.
available to buy in your local stores?
So on the slushy series, we do draft only in DF. That's a fantastic question. We do draft only in DFW, but we do sell package out of the brewery, out of the mothership in Sherman, Texas. It's
Beer to
worth
go.
the drive. Yep.
Go
we are
party up in Sherman.
yeah, Highway 75, just north.
Just go.
If you hit the Red River, you've gone a little bit too far.
Yeah, don't go that far.
Just a smidge. But Sherman's an exciting town, and then like up at the brewery, we've also got a kitchen. So we're doing pizzas, grilled cheeses, hamburgers, like all. I just said
Grilled-
hamburger in a really weird way.
I know. I was
cheese
like,
and
you say
hamburger.
hamburger like that all the time because that's really cool.
Hamburger.
Hamburger.
Yeah.
The French way.
That's the intent. Yeah.
Hamburger.
I also like to tout about our heating and air conditioning because like we live in Texas where we have extreme weather.
Yeah, it iced.
Yeah,
So you have that stuff?
Yeah.
we have that stuff.
You have those there things.
They are things.
Okay.
They are indeed. So if it's hot outside, it's cold inside. We've got cold beer. If it's really cold outside, we've got a heater and we've got some warming beer as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Some
they're-
very toasty, wonderful stouts.
Yes, and they're doing a lot of
Yes.
barrel-aged beers that are staying up at the brewery right now, so it's a good time to go check it out and take home a beautiful Easter egg, a barrel, because we're also working with the distillery up
Easter
there.
egg.
Yes, I like little gems. So there's a distillery in Denison, Texas called Iron Root Republic. We opened up around the same time.
Okay.
And so we get a lot of their wonderful barrels, and they're making like world-class whiskeys.
Nice.
So we have a beautiful partnership with them as far as like getting some of the best high-quality wet barrels, which are totally ideal for barrel aging your beers.
Yes.
So, like
Awesome.
we're just kind of spoiled rotten up there.
Yeah, you should. As you should.
Yeah.
I will say, and I'm sorry if this sounds like I'm gloating about you, but
Oh
this
my.
is setting you apart from like the rest of the breweries in Texas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you
I
very
know
much.
it's a
She said
bold
it, madam.
statement.
Bold
said it.
statement.
I'm just saying. I know this is like kind of trendy, but these are the things that are gonna set
Thank you.
903 apart from.
I think it's important to do innovative, boundary-pushing beers, and also too to honor the classic styles that got us all here too. So
Absolutely.
and it's a good brewery is going to do both.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what
because-
keeps people at your brewery.
Yes,
is
right.
You're
The
not always going to
oldies
be in
but
the mood
goodies.
for
Mhm.
something crazy, but you also don't want to be drinking a blonde ale every
Yeah,
single day.
exactly.
You want variety.
And that
I like the new and crazy all the time.
ditto.
Yeah.
Give me. You can give me all of
Agreed.
the.
Like lagers
Agreed.
too. I'm like super into lagers right now. Really traditional, super hyper clean lagers are phenomenal, and also to a really good measure of a great brewer. Like if you can have a clean, flavorful lager,
do it
there's
clean.
nothing to
Absolutely.
hide behind.
And then have a slush.
And then have a slushy. And the slushy too is super cool because like it doesn't taste like traditional beer. So if you are in a situation where somebody's like, I don't like beer,
Boom.
like I got something really out there for
Are you
you.
sure
Yeah.
about that? Because I think you'll like.
Oh my! That's one of my
Yes.
favorite
Get you into
things.
beers.
Is when
Yeah.
people say, "I don't drink beer." I'm like, "Ooh, a challenge."
Don't you
Yes.
get so
Do it.
excited?
Yes.
And one of my coworkers recently told me, like, Abby, I didn't think I liked beer, but I liked this one that you recommended. And I was like,
Like,
yes.
girl, I know.
That's my favorite thing in the world. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I still get to do that, even though I'm out of the beer industry now.
challenge.
It's wonderful.
You still get to play that game.
I still do.
Yes.
It's my favorite
Sticking with my
challenge, too.
roots.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you don't? We'll see about that.
We'll see.
But
But
I-
you just haven't had the
Sweet.
right one.
Exactly.
That's true.
With such a
Exactly.
wide
That's
variety
true.
of beer. And this is a great example. Y'all's catalog of beer that's a wide variety
Yeah.
of
Even
beer.
the stuff
7
that you just
years.
brought today. It's like
Yeah.
What
such a
do I
wide.
bring?
I know.
We did also just revive an old school classic from us, so Land of Milk and Honey. So it's our golden milk stout with local honey. We had retired it for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. We just got it in today at our distributor, so you can start to find it again in the market on Monday. So that's really
Sweet.
exciting. So we like to honor the beers that got us to where we are today.
Right on.
That maybe didn't survive like some of the newer beer trends, but like milk
Bring
and
them
honey,
back.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It should
Yeah.
again.
Good to honor it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And people I think are going to be on the lookout for it. So
Oh yes, of course. And you kind of like made it a tantalizing thing.
Yes,
now. You're like,
you
it's
know.
gone. Well, it's like the Disney vault. Oh, we put it in the vault.
It's open.
it is the Disney
And now we
vault.
brought it out.
That is
So-
Do we just-
100% accurate.
Do we
gotta keep 'em
compare
wanting more.
alcohol to the Disney vault?
What's wrong with that?
We were talking about nostalgia,
Nostalgia
earlier.
goes back.
There you
Yes,
go.
100%.
Yeah.
Remember, parents, this is what your kids want to drink.
Yeah. Remember
now.
that.
By
Well,
the
are
way,
we ready to go?
Free Beer
drink-
Friday does not endorse any alcoholic drinking, but
for children. No tattoos for children, and there's something else that we keep on forgetting. That's the only one that I always remember.
Jake, what
We
else
don't
do we
have a
not
list.
endorse for children?
He does this every time.
All right, we've got to keep a running log. We need
do.
a dry erase board of all the stuff
Yeah,
we
we
do
do.
not endorse.
Well, you about to get ready to drink
We're
it
gonna
up at
drink
the
some more.
monk?
I want to go
Absolutely.
drink, and I want to go make Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
I
we're
wanna
gonna
make
craft some
cards.
cards.
Yeah,
Come
I
join us. at
Yes,
really
Bearded
wanna
Monk
make
right
I
some
would
now.
like to make some cards.
My
right now.
clients
Yes.
would love to read some cards next week. So I'm
This
putting
makes
my
me so happy.
I'm putting my personal little endorsement on here. I will hand deliver your cards. I will. I
Do you
have
hear
the
these
ability.
things?
This is awesome.
I would love to do
This is
that. That would
absolutely
bring my
awesome.
heart so much joy.
Let's go
Okay.
drink some beer mimosas and make some Galentine's cards.
Yes.
All right.
Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it. You guys come join us back at the Bearded Monk. You can come here right now for free samples.
Yes, you can.
But then we're going to go over to the Bearded Monk. We're going to drink
So,
slushies.
come drink some
and
beer.
we're going to make Valentine's cards.
Celebrate women
Exactly.
empowerment.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
All right,
Thank
let's
you.
do it. Oh, let's go. We got to go. We got to do this. Come on now.
Okay.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to thank our partners and sponsors who made this show possible. And now stick around for a word from all of us here at Discover Denton. Do you love live music? If so, make Denton, Texas your next vacation. Find more information at discoverdenton.com.